Okay, so welcome everyone. It is, oh my gosh, it's October the 20th already, 2025, and we're in our Home to the Heart book club. We're going to jump right into our slideshow here. We're going to be looking at compassion with the Buddha and a bunch more information. So pages 38 to 53 in Home to the Heart. And here's a statue of the Buddha, and I put on a third eye there because he really is going to be helping us open our third eye and work with our root chakra. And of course, the heart chakra, always the heart chakra. So this is my site for people that are just tuning in and going into the YouTubes now. We're always getting new people in the YouTubes. All these book clubs are done with donations, monthly subscriptions if you decide you'd like to donate that way, or just come. There's no requirement to donate. To get to, if you feel like you'd like a reading at all, there's lots of ways to contact me, either through the green circle or just contact me through my website. And it's a .ca website. And the YouTubes from these Zooms go to the Home to the Heart Zoom YouTube channel that's on the front of the link is on the front of my homepage at voiceoffreedom.ca. Okay, so this is the whole system that we've been studying. We're going to be in the root chakra looking at compassion today with the Buddha. So right now we're going to do a little bit of anchoring into our hearts, and we're going to ask the Divine Mother to put her cloak around each of us, that beautiful blue velvet cloak of clarity, of hope, of the knowing of her deep forgiveness of everything that has transpired on this planet, the state of peace that we're all coming to within, so that we create this peace on planet in our without. And let's post the mighty archangels around us. Archangel Michael on your door wall, your front door wall, and then go clockwise around with Raphael on the next wall, and Uriel on the next wall, and Yophael with his beautiful magenta amethyst. This is the color, one of the colors of compassion that we're going to be studying today. And Archangel Gabriel in the middle with a beautiful golden spiral. We're on that golden spiral for our ascension on planet Earth as we shift the entire planet into peace within for our without. And I just want to draw our attention to the sweet spot in this is the conjunction point in the violet flame. This is our center point. It's part of compassion, love, and the wisdom, and it's the crossover energy of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And really, it's a state of harmony. It's very freeing. It's the free energy that we're anchoring into our fields now, connected to vibration and frequency, the water energy and the light energy. And it really is the oneness. And when we're in that state of being very much centered in your heart center, it is where we're all headed as a planet. So as we're anchoring this energy to sit down in your heart space into that beautiful harmony, and we're moving the healing through the mental field, that's the green field, into the emotional, that's closer to the body, out through the causal, this is all your past lifetimes, and into the etheric, and then into the physical. So you can see it's the energy is going back and forth through your fields, harmonizing the fields, or really bringing peace into the physical form. And that is the knowing of that everything is forgiven in the higher realms, and that we're here to be love and really start operating more and more from our heart center in joy. So you've got the yellow energy here. This is your soul design, but it's also your biggest self. It's your universal self. It's your angelic self who's very good at blessing everything. So when you can bless everything you've been through this life, many, 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 many lifetimes, you'll find you're harmonizing the energy. So it's just knowing of the forgiveness of everything and being in incredible gratitude for this journey. and that anchors us in the love zone. And this I found from Rumi: when I am silent, I fall into a place where everything is music, everything is made of love. And we talk a lot about the vibration and frequency of color and sound. So, and then what I'd like you to do right now before we anchor into our hearts is just breathe into your tri-flame. And when you're breathing in the yellow and the pink and the silver of truth and the blue, you're really anchoring into the truth of yourself. So just take a couple of deep breaths of green and anchor down into your heart space, and then breathe into that tri-flame. And this is a practice you can do every day, and it really anchors you into that perfect balance of your masculine and your feminine. It's a very, very simple exercise to drop into the heart space and breathe love into your tri-flame. And you can see here, it's joy, it's laughter, it's willpower, it's balance, it's logic, it's the common sense, all the yellow energy, and then it's peace and flow and change and serenity of the mother, the hope, and the understandings of the forgiveness of everything. So that's a very simple exercise to anchor in your truth in the center of your being, to breathe into the tri-flame. And that's a way to just create peace, love, and joy and harmony within. And when you're really focused on your sacred purpose, you're out of this old energy that is creating the discord on the planet. Just very serene, like the Buddha, in that place of harmony within. So that's the violet flame, that beautiful point there. And now let's anchor into your physical form. Breathe the green, drop down into your heart space, breathe into your tri-flame, and really anchor in that violet energy of Saint Germain as well. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, Council of Love, Council that serves. We gather here this night, anchored in the stillness of our heart space, seeking guidance through the doorway to your sacred wholeness. We are your children and servants, companions in spirit, co-creators in form. We walk this planet Earth, Terra Gaia, this ancient garden of green. We've heard your call, and we answer now with our hearts, souls, and minds. We come prepared and clear in our intent to join wholly and completely this night with all, with joy, with love, with the divine. We seek our birthright and our inheritance. We seek that which is, all that ever has been, and all that ever will be. We seek those blessings in order to better serve our companions of earth, to be of service to the one, to show our love for each other. In this, we join our hearts and pray. Amen, amen, and amen. Okay, so this is what we're going to be studying. Deeper understandings in the root chakra, the first dimension, which is really the knowing of your self-love and your self-worth, your first dimensional foundation. So that foundation anchors into your hip area as well, into the masculine and the feminine, in the physical form, either side of the body, self-love and self-worth. And it's a triangulated energy. And so we're going to go into that a bit more, but the Trinity is the mother, the father, the child, and it's very, very powerful. And you can see in the ancient Sanskrit symbols of the root chakra, there's a triangle. There's one in the third eye. There's one it's in the solar plexus, it's in the heart chakra. You'll see this triangle is a symbol of the Trinity, of the Mother, the Father, the One. And you can see that compassion is also 3 different colors. It's that deep red of the root, and then it's the dark green of the heart, and then it's the magenta of the tri-flame, or of the third eye, I mean, the third eye. Okay, so now I just want to read the meditation that's connected to the channeling that came through Linda with the Buddha. And it gives you an idea how connected to nature we are, and the colors, and the meditations in these different audios are really powerful. So when you're listening to the audio, it's good to go and listen to the meditation as well. So the colors and the rays of compassion are red and green, but also this magentas and the purples here. And the green is a very deep green. It's the green of a pine forest. So, and so as I'm reading, you can follow along, like right at the beginning, it says, open up your crown. So the crown chakra is that lotus on the top of your head. So you can just feel like it's opening up. And then it says, open up your heart and feel yourself drift and allow. And let's start with the breathing of green, of that ray of love, of that ray of your heart chakra, in through your nose. Hold it a second. And on your out breath through your mouth, and feel yourself going more deeply, as if you're breathing and sinking into your heart. So this is a standard technique that the Council of Love uses. It's in through your nose, hold it for a second, and on the out breath through your mouth, and you drop down into your heart chakra. Let's do it again. Breathe in the pine forest, the silence of the deep forest, of the redwood forest, the Carolinian forest, and that sense of quiet, the slight dampness in the air, even though the pine needles beneath your feet are dry in a cushion, telling you that Gaia holds you softly. And breathe green, that wonderful black green, and go deeper into your heart and feel the compassion, that sense of allowing and understanding, and in so many ways, wisdom. No judgment, no trying to fix. Just feel that sense of peace within yourself and for yourself. Now let's bring in the red down through your crown, filling the crevice of your brain. So both hemispheres of your brain, bring in that really beautiful dark red, dark ruby, the ruby of love, of old stained glass, of Gaia, that rich red vitality. And feel the ruby in your root chakra that connects you to Gaia, and pull that up into your heart as well. So you're pulling up the energy from Gaia through your feet, through your legs, right up into your heart, and feel it merge and dancing, gently swaying with the green, that color of a blood red sunset, of the red planet. And go deeper into your heart now and feel that compassion. So feel that beautiful blessing for yourself, that non-judgment of yourself. This is a divine quality that is common to all beings, not just simply to religious followings or belief systems, and not only on earth, not only amongst humans. You see it in nature, you see it amongst the animals, you see it in the masters and our star brothers and sisters. Compassion is a key to our going forward together, never in judgment, in support. And that is a huge key, because we're all here to support each other and bring everyone into that equality. So there's none above and none below, but we're all in that equal space of no hierarchy.
Be there is perfect. Yeah. You can turn the chair.
So you can see this is the 13 chakra system. So the compassion anchors in the ruby, in the emerald of the heart, and up here in the magenta of the third eye. Compassion is one of the most transformative energies we can embody. So this is now the Council of Love definition of compassion. It is our ability to love and serve without judgment. It's a real practice, and yet it's a matter of if you find yourself judging something, to just stop yourself. And what the Buddha says to say is just say, no, no, compassion, just stop it. To be able to fully heart feel another situation without entering or assuming that cloak. The understanding that another has a chosen path and that we can only offer assistance and love. We cannot complete another's journey for them, for that would be theft. Tenderness. And its colors are green, red, magenta, and purple. Saint Germain talks about compassion being purple, and the Buddha, compassion being the magenta. And it really is a state of harmony within. And when we get up into this, the third eye, that magenta, and the beauty, they talk about harmony a lot, but it's that sense of the vibration and the frequency of sound, and you're bringing that inside and really feeling that joy and that laughter and that freedom when we are not judging anything. And that's what happens. It really shifts your inner reality and how you feel inside yourself when you're basically just loving everyone and in harmony with everything. There was a question last week about who is the Council of Love, and are we members? Who's the members of the Council of Love? The Council of Love is all of us. It's everyone. It's everyone birthed from source, every being birthed from the Divine Mother, the Divine Father, the oneness. So every single being is a member of the Council of Love. And in that, there's just no hierarchy. We're all children of the Mother, Father, One. No one is ever forgotten. The Mother has a way to keep track of everyone by a cord that goes from the top of your head and the divine spark in your heart center as well. So each of these 13 divine blessings and virtues in the Home to the Heart book, there's 6 in this first book. Originally in 2013, they were aired one a week on a radio show called Heavenly Blessings with Linda Dillon as the channel. And so that was started in January of 2013, and they did one a week for 13 weeks. And so that's why the audios are on my site. So when you go through that yellow circle on my homepage and you go into the audios, and you can listen to the actual channel messages. So
Which was our homework last week.
yes, it was.
I know Jane listened to the whole thing. I jumped ahead to the 5-minute, 13-second mark or whatever it was, and started it, and I got about 8 or 9 minutes into it, and then I got distracted with work and various things, and so have to get back to it. But I know Jane wanted to comment on that.
Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah.
listened to the whole thing. It was fabulous.
Yeah, it's
The
amazing.
whole hour 32. Yeah.
Okay, good.
And I'll go back and listen again.
Yeah, you can listen to them over and over and over. It just keeps expanding and expanding. It's incredible information.
Yes, it was fabulous. Thank you.
Okay, you're so welcome. This information from the Council of Love helps us divinely align with who we truly are, to know how things work in the higher realms, a great expansion of our somewhat limited human understanding of especially the blessings and virtues, but the universal laws, the dimensions, really how things work. We have forgotten a lot of it. The teachings are from the Divine Mother, the mighty archangels, ascended masters, beloved saints, and enlightened beings. Compassion is taught to us by the Buddha, and this is a collective energy of the Buddha, because he's been here many, many, many times. His teachings open us up to compassion being so much more than a dictionary definition of sympathy and concern for others' suffering. And there, as Jane said, there's an hour and a half of information all about compassion. The Buddha gives us insights from his own life, practical applications, how to embody compassion, and how, most importantly, to be compassionate for our unloving thoughts. This is the most important because we are so critical of ourselves, and it comes down through the family lines and has been happening on earth for thousands of years. And now we're here to stop that. And in the stopping of all judgment, we clear out all these unloving belief systems. They just fall away. And that is how we stop war on the planet. Basically, that we anchor peace, non-judgment inside of us, and it's an automatic, that's the physics of it, as within, so without. So it's a collective shift into this love for self. His tips on how to master non-judgment of self, sitting as the observer under the Bodhi tree with him in the heart, help us honor and trust others, our journey and others' journeys without judgment. He tells us the more we practice non-judgment, the more we see that reflection of non-judgment in others. So it's really miraculous how it works. The more we're in this state of non-judgment, it actually happens for others. It just does. It's the energetics of non-judgment. Yes, Stefan.
Is this a child Buddha that I'm looking at here on your screen?
I was looking for somebody sitting in a cross-legged position, and it's all like we're children. So I just put it here. But yes, it is a child.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to show you what he's talking about when he
The
says,
Bodhi tree, yeah.
sit with me under the Bodhi tree. Now you can be there in your heart space, in imagination as a child, because sometimes that can be really helpful when you go in as your inner child and sit with him, or you can sit in equality, like, just the same like him. So, because we all know how to do this. This is how the higher realms operate. So it's once you start, it starts to feel very familiar when you're operating more and more from your heart space and in that non-judgment. But it's a practice because we're so conditioned and programmed to be not in harmony with each other. That's why this picture back here, where was it? This one. This is, a lot of us are like this inside, where we're caught making opinions, and there's a war going on inside of us. And it's really between the two halves of the brain, the masculine and the feminine, without us even realizing it. So when you're in the divine qualities, in the harmony, in the non-judgment, you become like a Buddha. And then all of this that's happening all around us, it just bounces off your field, and you can go anywhere and be and not be triggered. So we're becoming like the Buddha, and just being able to smile and be focused on our sacred purpose, in peace, in love, in joy, in laughter, understanding the framework. This is how the framework of how things work in the higher realms. So this was so interesting. This is from Amelia Earhart. She said, a single act of kindness throws roots out in all directions, and the roots spring up and make new trees. So I just thought that's such a beautiful quote. There's a couple of them that I found for this slideshow. And my little granddaughter's first name is Amelia. So,
And she's special.
oh, thank you. And I just thought it was interesting. The plane is red here. I don't know if Amelia's plane was red. Maybe it was. I don't know. But that's the reds that we're working in with compassion here. And trees, just being out in the forest and the trees is just such a beautiful experience anywhere in nature. So yeah, our ability to love and serve without judgment, to be able to fully feel another situation without entering or assuming that cloak. So you're the observer, like the tree, you're not taking on anyone's drama. You're at peace with yourself, and then you're not triggered by anyone else's drama. That's how it works. The understanding that another has a chosen path and we can only offer assistance and love. We cannot complete another's journey for them, for that would be theft. So that goes to our children, it goes to relatives, it goes to friends and coworkers. We're mastering being like the trees, or we're just watching and observing. The Buddha tells us compassion calls out to the divinity in all of us to rise up, so our ego defensiveness, our need to defend ourselves, disappears. So we're just at peace inside. There are very few beings upon our planet, when given unconditional support and permission to become, who do not flourish. So we're supporting them with our peace, with our non-judgment. He says that humanity cannot balance until there is self-forgiveness and forgiveness of one another. And when we provide the space, the safety for others to explore that with the comfort of our non-judgment, we awaken and ascend together. So it's a practice, and we're not meant to be perfect at this. It's taken us thousands of years to get to the state where we're at now, and now we're wanting to change it immediately. And it can be changed immediately, but it's a practice. So don't be hard on yourself if it seems difficult. Just keep coming back and back and back to the heart space and that non-judgment. The Buddha's expansion of this blessing and virtue connected to our root chakra helps us see how foundational this is to our very being. So when we do, we anchor it more and more and more every day. It really helps with everything. So these are just some of the points that he made about compassion, higher dimensional compassion. He talked about when love moves into ego. The Buddha helps us understand when love driven by ego shifts from genuine compassion to control, we restrict others' freedom and growth. We redirect their path, and we can deny a soul's journey. And we do this all the time without even realizing it. So it's just becoming more and more consciously aware of how we are interacting with people, and just practicing standing back and smiling and not having too much of an opinion about anything. It's quite a practice. Yes, Stefan.
It seems that ego is primarily responsible for a lot of our negativity and our judgment and our, taking us out of genuine compassion into control.
Yeah.
Um, would you say it's primarily ego, or are there other?
It's basically fear, and the ego's so used to protecting us, that's what it's doing. And what Nakamura said to do was just love your ego, because it's a delightful part of our personality. So the more you just calm it down and love it, it settles down, because we're going through such rapid change. It wants to defend us. So when you realize, oh, that's just my ego, it's my story, it's not really, and you can step back from it and just love it and calm it down. And there's also some other things that we need to take into account. If we've been in any kind of trauma, when, in this lifetime, it can affect our balance inside, and it can affect our adrenals and our kidneys, and that's connected to the root chakra. So it's really knowing there's more going on than meets the eye. And our spine, anybody with back pain, they can go into the spine. So we're really calming ourselves down into and it's that love for self that calms the ego. We're not here to eliminate the ego. We're just here to calm it and let it know that we're safe. There's just great change happening.
So
But
to
we're
be
not
able
in any kind of danger.
just observe it and notice it and say thanks for showing up, and let it carry on and
Yeah.
let it go.
Yeah, basically that's it. And you can be grateful to the ego for its job that it's done, over thousands of years. You're there. So gratitude, and like the Buddha said, to forgiveness of everything, of the self, the ego just calms right down. It settles down. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that is a big piece, and we'll go into that more. So Nakamura talks about the ego more in one of the laws. Parenting and trust. The Buddha says we naturally want to protect our children, to trust these ancient wise ones, but sometimes we do not understand their choices. Our mastery comes not judging them or ourselves for their choices, for their journeys. And a lot of the kids these days are doing some really big work because there's so many issues on the planet. So just to be able to know they know what they're doing, and just be there for them. You know, if they come and ask us for help, to be there. But yeah, it can be very hard to be a parent at this time because there's just so much that is being shifted. And these are the kids that have come in to help with that. And often, I know with me, I went right into addictions and alcoholism, and I went right through the other side and turned around and then started helping people. So that's a lot of the journeys of these young people. They're going into what doesn't work, going right through it, and then turning around and helping others. So it's a practice to stand back and just keep sending love and surrounding them with the mighty ones. And, you know, you can even put the mother's blue cloak. And then there's also this too, which I want to talk about. It's the Buddha's magenta scarf. So I'm going to talk about that. It's a beautiful gift that we can use. Compassion is the complete honoring. So it's winning millions of dollars in a lottery or dying of cancer, understanding we don't understand, and having complete trust in the plan of the individual, that they have chosen ways to deeper wisdom. So yeah, every experience, good, bad, or ugly, it's just an experience for us not to judge, and to know that there's lots of different ways to learn uh, how to be more and more in the center. So yeah, an incredible illness can bring you into the center because you decide you really want to learn about yourself and why that happened. Or as he says, winning millions of dollars, that's a huge responsibility. So yeah, it's just whatever the universal self, the bigger self who has helped design this journey for this lifetime, has agreed to. The Buddha also talks about attach, detach, and attach. So, and we'll go into more of this in the law of attachment and detachment, but this is just a good quick understanding of it. He says to attach to information gathering, then to step back, detach, be the observer, and attach to the divine rightness of the journey without judgment or interference, leaving freedom to maneuver for self or another. So say you're really, really triggered about something, it's good to sit still and ask why. What is it connected to in the past? So that's the information gathering. You're attaching to understanding why, because it's good to ask questions. Because once you have the awareness, it sets you free. So then you detach from it. You just go, oh, that's why. And you let it go. And then come back and attach to the highest vision for yourself or for a situation. So it's good to be able to ask questions about the pain. So that's the information gathering. Or any situation, anything that's confusing. Just sit still and ask your guides, and the answers will come, but they come in the patience and being able to sit under the tree with the Buddha or with your guides in your heart space. We're learning to listen with our hearts. And it just takes practice. That's all. Sitting under the Bodhi tree to silence the mind and be in the heart is a practice in times of confusion, to sit with the Buddha in the heart under the tree, to let go of needing to have explanations for everything. So he says you don't even have to ask, to simply sit together in the wonderness of all. I find it can be really helpful to ask questions, but he's saying we don't have to. There's no need for explanations. We don't need to know everything. Just keep coming back to the heart, into the peace of the heart, into just knowing we're all here to be loving. And then he talks about being a wayfarer. As the wayfarer, the Buddha is one who simply sits or walks with us, not attached to anything. We are invited to be a wayfarer too, to walk or sit a while with others, knowing it is not necessary to guide them to the end. So people come and go from our lives, and sometimes we wonder why, but it's just being in that state of not attached to anything. And so it gives people so much freedom. We're not controlling anyone, trying to make them stay with us or do something. It's just like we're just in a very detached state of being. So people could come and go in our lives. Yeah, it's a beautiful, it's so interesting to hear about these deeper meanings of compassion, because these are not really in our dictionary definition. Our compassion becomes reflective as we let go judgment. Compassion is infinite with capacity to grow. It starts at home for our family, partners, and has a reflective quality. The more we hold it, the more we see that reflection in others. And I've been practicing, my daughter's been going through some stuff lately, and I've been really, really standing still and listening. It's really hard to listen when there's a lot of ranting going on, but just listening, just being there, and then holding that non-judgment for the whole situation. And I've been asking for a lot of help, and there's been a great big calming down, and now it's starting to reflect back to me. So it does work, just being aware, consciously aware that it's a miracle that happens here. So the more we hold that non-judgment inside of ourselves, it becomes the reflection for us with other people. So it's good to know. It's the physics of non-judgment. The more we hold it, it becomes contagious, and then it gets reflected back to us, and then they reflect it to other people. So we're all reflecting it to each other. And this is the magenta scarf exercise. So I had forgotten about this, but it's such a beautiful thing. We're given these gifts by the ascended masters and the mighty ones and the saints. and and for some reason they don't stay in our heads sometimes very easily, but this one really, really works. And so I said to the Buddha, as I was working on all of this, well, it'd be really good if I had one in physicality. That would help me remember. And then I heard we have, like where I live, there's a value village that's quite close. I heard, well, just go walk down to the value village, go see if there's one there. So I did. And 10 steps in the door was this beautiful pashmina scarf. So if you ask,
Okay, now you can-
if you ask, you will receive. So just know, if you feel like you really would like a magenta scarf to help you remember this exercise, ask, and then be open to it being right there for you.
I do that with parking spots all the time,
Yes, yes,
right in front.
yep, that's it. That's exactly it. So that's your guides working with you as well. And so then they're working with other people's guides. So this scarf exercise, it's sending compassion to create more compassion. What it is, the Buddha's healing, the offering of the gift of a magenta scarf. From our place of mastery, non-judgment, we wrap the scarf around others' suffering. Then it magically reflects back to us, deepening our own experience, and this is what happened to me, of compassion, love, and non-judgment. So you're actually etherically taking the magenta scarf and wrapping it around the situation or the person that's, that's suffering or whatever is happening. And what happens is it actually helps us. So become more and more compassionate and more non-judgmental. So say you're at work and there's something, with a coworker and you're really, really struggling, just etherically wrap them up in a magenta scarf. And then just let that be as calm as possible. And over a few days, you'll see a huge shift. It's a really, really fun way to anchor in deeper and deeper non-judgment for everyone, for all of us. So that's the the Buddha's magenta scarf. Okay, so we're at 10 to 7 right now. I'm thinking maybe I don't know. Oh, I wanted to do this too. I wanted to let you know. Okay, I'm going to go into this just briefly, and then we'll probably repeat it in the next one because this is really important. So the root chakra governs 2 adrenals, 2 kidneys, and our spine. So the adrenals are here. They're on top of the kidneys, and the kidneys are kidney shaped, like kidney beans. Okay, and so they're sitting under the lungs. See, there's the lungs. This is the liver. I mean, there's all kinds of organs in here. So, but these adrenals can not work so well if we're still holding on to old traumas. And same with the kidneys. So this is how important it is to get into that state of non-judgment of the past, because the resentments and the judgments really affect the organs, the adrenals, and especially the kidneys. And then they can throw out the spine as well. So the spine is, it's the alignment of the chakras as well. It's a divine alignment. It's golden energy. It's the framework of how things work on the planet. So think of the spine, it's very golden. And then the adrenals and the kidneys, there's one for each. There's one on each side of the body. So one's more feminine, one's more masculine, one's more feminine. So it's really going back into the past and not holding any kind of angst around siblings or early caregivers. And you can see where you're holding on to it in meditation. And so letting it go. So from the root, we want these chakras all in alignment and the organs in balance in the masculine and the feminine. It makes a huge difference just knowing this. And then the adrenals go right up into the endocrine system that connects us to the hormonal balance in the body. So this is like a triangle energy between the adrenals and up into the heart space. So just keep remembering it's the Trinity. The mother, the father, the child. So you've got mother energy, now you got father energy on this side, you got mother on this side, and there's you in the oneness, the child. So that anchoring and not holding on to anything in the past, that non-judgment, that compassion for yourself as the child and for the early caregivers and siblings, anything to do with family, it really affects your physical form. So our adrenals, part of the endocrine system, regulate hormones connected to the heart chakra. It's all interconnected. So that first dimension is our reality of wholeness, of self-love and self-worth. There's your self-love and there's your self-worth. And that's where we want to come into that balance. So there's no war between the masculine and the feminine inside of us. We want to be in that state of no opinion, no war, non-judgment, compassion. And then the physical form heals itself. And there's lots of beings out there talking about healing the physical body. It's entirely possible, understanding how things work on the inside and really being in that balance, understanding the balance between the masculine and the feminine. Okay. So I think we did that. Okay, so yeah, we did everything. Okay. Yeah, we did. Okay, so we got to everything. Okay, so we're harmonizing the energies inside of us and, the vibration of the water, the frequency of the sunlight. This is more the mother energy or the father energy. They're very distinct energies. And when they unite, they come into the oneness. And that's the childlike energy that's very, very loving inside of us. Children come in unconditionally loving everyone. A baby comes in on the white light of purity, and we're remembering that now. We're coming back into that state of purity all of us, the original purity of the planet, which is the planet is in, and now we're catching up to the planet. Yes.
Wow.
Kim.
Damn it.
Yeah, I was thinking about that in terms of our kitties and
Yes,
how they provide us with love unconditionally.
they do. Yeah, they literally are transmuting energy all the time because they're loving. They're just loving. They're compassion. That's what they are. They are compassion, and they want us to reflect it back to them. And that's
Mhm.
what you're doing when you're loving them. You see how it's the cats and you mirror each other. That's the compassion. That's the reflection that the Buddha's talking about. Yeah, that's why pets are so wonderful. They unconditionally love, so that we get to that too. The animals on the planet are really helping out so much. The whales and the elephants, and really anchoring incredible energy for us on the planet. But that's very astute, Ken. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, so we're just moving the healing in and out of all the different fields, really anchoring it into the physical form. And there's that. If you feel like wrapping this magenta scarf around any issues of peace, you can wrap it around war zones. You can wrap it around systems, legal systems, the beings that are bringing in the vaccination laws, for instance. You can wrap them up in these magenta scarves and help them remember who they are. So they reflect that. Yeah. Okay. So let's do that. Let's do our sitting work and sending now out to the planet. Yes, Stefan.
So before we get to that, I wanted to
Yeah.
ask you, as a neophyte, what would be a good introductory book to your teachings and to the teachings of the higher realms, and just to give myself a sort of a baseline understanding of some of the more advanced things that we're discussing here?
Everything that I'm talking about is in my book, Home to the Heart, the one that you have. And I don't know of anywhere else that explains it like the way that it's talked about. So I don't have any other
Not specifically about your material, but just in terms of like an introduction to the higher realms and spirituality, and just to give me a broad.
Because your background is in religious Baptist church.
Yeah, I mean, well, I do have, James has pointed out, I've got a Christian background as a Baptist. I grew up in a Baptist family, and so, I have a lot of Christianity and beliefs and faith there, did have. But now this is sort of a little bit more different in terms of um, the angels and the archangels and the um, just the overall, like an overall sort of introductory type of a thing. I don't know if you've got a book you could recommend.
Actually, I don't, because
Yeah.
for the last 12 years, this is all I've been studying, and it's only been the audios from the audios on my website
Yeah.
and transcripts.
Yeah.
So that's been, and I found that all the religions point to the same. They all go to the same, that we're all of the oneness. We're all here to be love. Like if you go deep into all of them, it gets very, very simple. And we're here to love each other, love your neighbor as yourself. That's the reflective capacity of compassion. They all speak the same language when it gets right down to it. What I've been studying is a little bit different because there's some information about universal laws out there, but not quite the same as what's taught here. I actually I don't know what else to recommend, because this is,
Well, I'll spend some time maybe at the top of your website and work my way down through some of that information. Then that's maybe a good place to start.
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
the audios.
outside of the book, obviously.
Yeah. The book moves from the root. It's like a ladder system. So the chakras are a ladder. And as you go up, you become more and more masterful. That's why we're starting at the root. We're starting in the non-judgment. We're going to go up into humility and fortitude and joy and awe and prudence. Like it's a ladder.
Yeah,
And
very
it,
cool. Okay.
it really, and
Yeah.
the different dimensions, which are the classrooms. And then you'll see what, we're going to get into the universal law of sacred purpose. And that's a very grounding, amazing law, because we've all come in with purpose. So yeah, it's just a ladder of information, and you can go up and down. I've gone up and down and up and down and in and out.
Well, they all have to be in, they all work in like congruently, right? So they've got to all
Yes,
work together to
yes.
be masterful. You have to have everything in alignment.
Yeah. So as I'm sharing this information, I'm taking you up into the higher ones and down. Like I'm bringing in different concepts, right into the root chakra as I'm talking. So you're getting a little taste of it all at once. Yeah. And then you'll see we'll go deeper and deeper into each blessing and virtue, each law, each dimension.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I'm really bringing in the concepts of the entire system as we're going along, so that it doesn't feel too overwhelming by the time we get up here. You're learning about it already right here. Yeah. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, and Lillian or Ken?
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know if Stefan wanted to read anything in particular, any writings from Yeshua or any of the other masters. Are you interested in those
So
types of things?
Yeshua is another name for Jesus, is it not?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, so because
it's just that Yeshua actually is his name.
that's right. Yeah, yeah. My sister has done an enormous amount of spiritual healing and studying, and yeah, and so she maybe a year ago was referencing Jeshua, and so we talked a little bit about it. But yeah, I'd be open to, if you have recommendations on a good place to start. I'm very
Well,
open-minded that way.
Well, the reason why I'm asking you this particularly, because Golden Age of Gaia does put Pamela Cribby, those on there, and she is a wonderful medium from Yeshua, and her
She has a website too. I can send that to Stefan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's wonderful.
Yeah, I can do that. She's a channel like Linda Dillon is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's wonderful.
What was
She
the name again?
channels Pamela Cribby. So it's Kribbe, but I'll send you that her website so you can go into that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like, I mean, even stepping back from that, like, what is a medium? How does the medium work? What do they like? I mean, really entry level stuff is where I'd want to start to get a broad overview of, because this is all very new to me.
Mhm.
And I feel like having a good basis to start from. Not that this is not a great place to start, but um, I feel sometimes like I'm not as advanced as maybe others are.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about it. It's meant to be really simple. It's really,
Yeah,
anchoring in the heart and being loving. That's it. And Sanat Kumara said to me, keep it simple, keep it simple. And Albert Einstein said the same thing. And
Right.
it's really just being kind to yourself and then
Mhm.
extending it out. And we're just going into some of the concepts of how to do that and the deeper understandings. That's all we're doing. And you'll find it will feel, it gets simpler and simpler and simpler.
Okay.
When I first started studying all this, it seemed a bit overwhelming, and now it's just like, oh yeah, we all know this. This is what we're sharing here is kindergarten in the higher realms.
Mhm.
Yeah, because it's just that we have been under this veil, stuck in these old belief systems for thousands of years. And now it's time to, the more we sit in meditation in the heart, it becomes simpler and simpler and simpler. And that's what I found. It was just letting the old belief systems go. And then the confusion disappears. It just
Mhm.
feels confusing because of these old belief systems.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the more you can, and this is the most simple, just dropping all the judgment, really, really catching them and just saying, no, no, no. Yeah. And even Sanat Kumara said that is the most important thing. Just be very strict, stern with yourself and just know there's no time for judgment anymore on the planet. And it's funny because we have thousands of opportunities every day to do that. We breathe in and have 17 to 70,000 thoughts and breaths every day. Up to 70,000 thoughts. And think of what a lot of them are, or being hard on ourselves. So yeah, is anchoring in that love, love, love for the self. And that's what we're doing when we're sitting in this 10 minutes. We're sitting in the heart space and loving the self. And so one of the simplest ways is just to breathe into the tri-flame. I don't know if I have a picture. Yeah, this. If you can breathe into that and love your tri-flame, you're there. Like seriously, that's is just practice sitting in the heart, whether you're in the forest or whatever, but just seeing this, it's like your own mini bonfire of flames, and breathing those colors and loving that tri-flame. That I've learned more than anything, just doing that. And you can do it for a minute a day, not even that, 30 seconds. Just breathing the gold, the pink, and the blue, and some silver, because this is the truth. Because this is you, the pink is you, this is you, grace, love in action, basically. And then this is your laughter, the golden joy, and so much more. It's like the framework of everything. And then this is the mother energy, just knowing everything is forgiven in the higher realms. The hope, the peace, the serenity that's found inside. And so when you breathe into that and love that flame, that's you. Because that spark is us. You carry that in every single lifetime. That is your divine spark, the unique and magnificence of who you are. And being here on earth, we've forgotten. We've just forgotten all of this. And now we're just remembering. But yeah, breathing into that. See if as we're sitting for our 10 minutes right now, just breathing into that. And then just letting the breath send that energy out. So let's try that right now. It's just 7:07. So if anybody needs to go, off you go, but I'm gonna set the timer for 10 minutes now. And then let's just practice being in the heart. And this is the most important thing for all of us to do. Anchoring this in so it reflects out to the planet and reflects back to us. Okay, so just breathe emerald green and drop into your heart space and practice loving yourself and sending that love out. Okay. That was 10 minutes. Did anyone try the breathing into the tri flame and sending it out?
Well, that's what we were doing, weren't we?
Yes. How did you like that? Did you find that fairly easy to do?
Well, it's in my mind, and trying to visualize into my heart,
Mm-hmm.
and self-compassion, self-love, and giving love and self-compassion and compassion for others.
Mm-hmm.
But I find a lot of it is in my head
Mm-hmm.
more than
That's
it's in my heart.
Yeah, so that's the key, the practice is to keep practicing dropping down. So you're out of your mind and you're in that heart space. And it's imagination. And imagining like sitting under a tree with the Buddha. Ask for the Buddha.
But
To
that's in your mind, though, is it not? Or
No,
you're
it's in your,
imagining?
yeah, but you're dropping down into your heart. So yeah, you'll know when you do it because but ask the Buddha for help because he will help you.
Okay.
And he's amazing. He's very, very powerful. And I'm there with you too. So just know it's like it's a group effort. Yeah, and your guides are helping you, everyone. But that's the key for the planet, for all of us to be more and more operating from the heart rather than from the mind. The mind naturally comes into balance the more we're operating from the heart center, but it's just a practice because we're not used to this. We're very used to being up in the head all the time.
Well, I mean, I understand compassion. I consider myself to be a very compassionate person.
Mhm.
Um, and so from that side, I feel like that part of me comes from my heart more than my mind,
Yes.
my head. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So maybe I do know it, but I just haven't sort of expressed it that way.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. And yes. Mhm. Yeah, we all know how to do this. It's very natural. It's just that we haven't been taught this. Like we don't hear this. We could be taught this in kindergarten and we're not really. Well, it's coming more and more into the system, but when you and I went to school, we didn't have any of this. I never had it at school. Anybody else learn anything like this at school?
No, not at home and not at school.
Yeah,
No, I
yeah,
have the opposite fear.
yeah, yeah. So we're just remembering and learning, and just know in the higher realms, you know this. So who you truly are really knows this. We all do. Yeah, and it's a very light state of being. You can become very mm, I don't, it's just filled with light. You get almost giggly all the time. Like you feel like you see the humor in mostly everything.
Well,
Yeah.
you do giggle an awful lot, Kathleen. I'll give you that. Like, authentically, you know, yeah,
Truly.
it's coming out of you.
Yeah. Well, and I used to be quite a morose being. Yeah. So this is like, it's a very big shift for me to be in this state. So yeah. Yeah, no, but once you get it and it just starts happening and growing and more, it just is. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I find that's true. Stefan, you just have to keep on practicing. That's all you can do, really. Keep
Mhm.
Yeah.
on practicing, and one day it will click, and then you'll know you're there.
Thank you,
It's
Darren.
like, remember when you learned to ride your bike and
Yes.
you practice and practice, and then all of a sudden you found the balance and you were flying. It's like that. And then the freedom you have when you have a bike, oh my goodness.
Ew.
It's like that. That's what it feels like.
Well,
Yeah.
I occasionally I'll be on my motorcycle and I'll take both hands off the wheel and I'll put my arms up and I'm in complete balance. It's about
Yes.
a 600-pound motorcycle, so it can go in a straight line. I can even steer it with just my weight a little bit, shifting my balance a little bit.
Yeah.
And so yeah,
Does
much
that
like
feel good? Does that feel good when you do that?
does it ever.
Yeah, okay, so that's the feeling you're looking for inside of yourself.
Got it.
Mhm. And it doesn't take long. And then once you got it, and you want to be operating from that as much as possible. Mhm.
Perfect. Great
Are you gonna
analogy.
share that you're doing your water.
Oh, Jane would like me to share that I'm doing another 3-day water fast.
Oh, very good. Excellent. Good job.
Go.
Yeah. It's easier for guys to do that kind of thing. I hear it's harder for women for some reason to do that type of fasting. And it's something to do with our physiology. So it's very, very good that you're doing that. And that is anchoring in the mother energy that's been forgotten here. So the peace, water is peace.
Mhm.
Water is flow, water is change, water is trust, water is faith. It's the forgiveness of everything. So when you're drinking the water, let it flow into all the other lifetimes that you've had on planet, hundreds of them, hundreds and hundreds. We've been everything because we wanted to experience it all. And now it's just time to bring the whole planet back to peace. We've had the adventure. Now it's time to really, we're not doing the outer adventure as much as the inner. Now it's the inner adventure to peace. Like riding your bike with no hands inside of yourself. You're flying into yourself now. And it's really exciting. It's way more exciting than anything out there. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Ski and stuff and that freedom, that
Mhm.
feeling of
Mhm.
on the slopes, eh?
Mm-hmm.
I imagine you go quite fast.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. When I go skiing, I don't turn very much. I just like going straight down the hill and going as fast as I can. It feels like flying.
It is fine, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, any other questions or anything that anyone wants to share? No. Okay, so next, oh, did you have something, Jane? No?
No, no.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I was just flicking my
Like
hand.
it looked like you were putting your hand up.
Yeah, thank you, sorry.
Yeah, no. What was I gonna say? So next week we're just gonna go deeper into compassion and a bit of a repeat so that we anchor in this energy. And if you can practice, if you want to listen to the compassion recording again, we're gonna do it for a few more sessions because there's just so much information that he gives us. It's such an expansion of what we understand compassion to be here. And keep breathing into your tri-flame. That exercise was given, I wasn't actually breathing into it, I was more of just observing it. And when I was shown breathe into it and love yourself, oh my gosh, it's like a huge game changer. So breathing love into that tri-flame, those 3 colors, and the silver, wow, is really beautiful. Yeah, so it's a good one to practice. And ask the Buddha for help. Sit under the tree with him. He loves it. He wants to be there with us. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the recording. I'm just going to say goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much.
Goodbye,
And-
thank you.
Bye,
Oh,
everybody.
See you next
Well,
week.
Let's see you
Oh,
next week. Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Oh,
Peace
Good
and
luck,
love.
Stefan.
Thank you, Carrie.
Bye.
well,
Bye.
Bye.